All right, there it is. We're rolling. Sweet. Natural Sponge and Friends podcast number 16, I believe. Yeah, 15 was my man Hefe Runnels. Podcast number 16. We're back. I would like to thank all our listeners so far. We got like 12 dudes in California, or females, 12 people in California that are subscribed and listening. And my guy in Mexico is awesome. I don't know. You've downloaded all of them according to my podcast host. So that's phenomenal, dude. I appreciate it. Keep listening. And the coolest thing about all this so far is we got 2 in United Kingdom. I guess Twitter probably is where they found it or something. Try to go on and tag look up podcast recommendations and then go to there and say, check out Natural Sponge and Friends. So maybe a couple guys from the United Kingdom checked it out. That's awesome. Always powering Natural Sponge and Friends is Diamond Wizards Baseball. We got to give a shout out to our guy Dylan Kuhns real quick. I didn't think about that. Didn't write it down. Kuhns is at Francis Marion University, a Diamond Wizard Baseball Hall of Famer from this past year. He shut down the Citadel. He shut down a team last week. He is freshman fall, and he's doing his thing on the mound. So congrats, Kuhns. Keep doing your thing, buddy. Also give a shout out to my guy Vinny. A kid over at Surfside Beach Rec, diagnosed with cancer right around Thanksgiving last year, so it's almost been a year. Talked to his mom the other day, and me and him had a little bet going. He's on a different team, but every time we play each other, we always talk and joke around, and he finally brought me my my little wristband for him that says "Victory for Vinny." So tonight I have to bring him a Diamond Wizards baseball shirt. That was our deal. Also going to give a shout out to, if you guys follow us on social media, you saw Todd the Punisher Polton over at Southpaw's Boxing Academy, a 4-time world boxing champion some way, somehow. By God's grace, he has entered the Natural Sponge realm, and we've talked to quite a few celebrities so far over the phone, and Todd will be on here very, very soon on a podcast along with some of his friends. So check out Todd the Punisher Polton on Google. His story will blow your mind. He had a big bout with OCD and everything like that. So now he calls himself the OCD, the world heavyweight, the reigning world heavyweight OCD champion of the world, since he figured out how to do that. So also Mike Posner, he just finished his quest, the artist, 2,851 miles, just walked across America, even after getting bit by the rattlesnake in Colorado. That set him back a few days, but he has accomplished his goal, his spiritual walk. I'm telling you guys, the 7 spiritual laws of success. Read that book. I'm still trying to practice them. I'm not getting any better, but I'm trying. A lot of stuff happening with Natural Sponge and Friends. Going well. So today on podcast number 16, I got my man Donald Hovis. What's going on, Donald?
How we doing, buddy?
I love it, man. I love the voice already. You're made for this mic, right?
Absolutely. I love the mic.
That's awesome. Grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina.
The big city. Yes,
the
sir.
Big city. I'll tell you a quick story about Gastonia, man. We were at I played AAU basketball too, so I don't know if it was basketball or baseball, but back then I was playing AAU something, and we were staying in Gastonia, and it was basketball, and we were playing a game, and I swear it was basketball. See, this is how my mind works. It was baseball or basketball, and we were playing in a tournament, and we woke up the next day, and there was like nobody on the streets, and we were like, Bojangles was closed, like we're going to the field, like we hadn't heard anything, and apparently overnight a tornado had come through.
How about that?
It was like 2000 and how old am I? 31, so it was like 2000 and probably 2001, 2002, like a hurricane had come through or something, or not a tornado. A tornado had come through, and it was like mind-blowing. Like nobody was out on the streets, but that's kind of my ties to Gastonia, was the tornado that came through that nobody knew about.
I don't even know about it.
You weren't there at the time, right? You moved here to Myrtle Beach when you were 9?
Yeah.
What made the move?
Well, my family actually, and I did not put this in the notes, and my apologies.
That's fine, man.
My family actually used to have Studebaker's nightclub here in Myrtle Beach.
Wow.
Legendary place,
yes,
right?
Yes, that's dope.
And so that's the reason why I moved. My parents were actually living apart at that time, and it was time for us all to come together as a family under one roof, so why not beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Right. That's awesome. Do you still feel that way today?
Oh, I love this place, man.
Awesome.
This is paradise.
Awesome. You can't beat it. The beach, the sand, the ocean. The traffic's not so good, though.
We don't have traffic.
What do you call it, though?
It's just a backup.
It's just a backup. I like that. Coming down here, Studebakers. That's cool, man. Man. That's awesome. You spent a lot of time there growing up?
I was the bikini contest judge at the age of 6 years old.
My goodness. How could you go wrong?
I know, right?
That's like I tell guys, I grew up in a pool hall. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So Johnson & Wales University in Charleston, South Carolina. And yes, guys, we will get to what he does now. But Johnson & Wales University in Charleston, South Carolina. What was the decision there? Do you have many options, many ideas of what you want to do? Like, I went into college as a baseball player. I think I'm still at 31 trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do. But, a lot of guys have, a lot of people are on track. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. Did you have an idea at an early age of what you want to do when you grew up? And how did the Johnson & Wales University, decision happen?
Obviously growing up in the hospitality industry with my family having Studebakers, and I did not mention my uncle also has Dirty Don's Oyster Bar. So being in the industry, I knew obviously a lot about restaurants. I knew a lot about nightclubs, but I realized pretty quickly that that's not what I wanted to do.
Right.
I wanted to be in the industry, so I thought hotels would be really cool. When I was in high school, I worked in hotels. Mm-hmm. And so quickly, as I got towards my sophomore year in high school, I had to start focusing. Okay, where do I want to go to college? Obviously, I looked at Coastal Carolina, I looked at the University of South Carolina, and I looked at Johnson & Wales. I visited all three. I was accepted at all three. I chose Johnson & Wales because I thought I would be more of I could get more out of my education than just being a number in a classroom per se.
Right.
Especially at the University of South Carolina, there would be 250 people in a class. To me, you're not getting an education when
right.
you're just listening to other people talk.
Yeah, the teacher doesn't know you are.
Exactly.
The professor doesn't know who you are.
Johnson & Wales was really cool because it was situated right in Charleston, South Carolina, which I love Charleston. I love to visit Charleston, and I felt at home there. Also, they have a golf program. I played golf in high school. I started playing on our varsity team at Myrtle Beach High in 8th grade. I knew I wasn't going to be able to play competitively at maybe a Division I level,
right.
But I would love to continue to play golf if I could at the next level in college. And Johnson & Wales was part of the NAIA, which is actually below Division II.
Right.
And they had a golf program, and immediately they welcomed me. So that obviously stood out. I was able to get a great education and also play golf, which I love still to this day.
Oh, yeah.
At the collegiate level.
Right. And the funny thing with that is I was, like you said, I was the stupid jock baseball guy that everything else is stupid. I did kind of like lacrosse, though, for a little bit because at my college, the lacrosse locker room was close to us. And when they would come out to practice or games, they would literally have their mouthpiece in a boiler, they're boiling it to mold in their mouth. And these guys would pull it straight out of the water and put it in their mouth, and the guy behind them would smack them, and they go out. I'm like, these guys are nuts. This is crazy. And it wasn't until, I don't know what happened. I looked at my bonus dude, Braden, and I was like, let's go play golf. This was June 23rd of last year, the first time I've ever played golf. Well, played golf for real. I played golf before with my buddy, a baseball guy, and it was literally like, hey, all right, we've drank 15 beers by the time we got to hole 4. Let's go home. You know what I mean? But we went out and played, and we started at Tupelo Bay, and then we played Indian Wells, and I'm like, this is amazing. It's not just like a break from life, but just like the nature's involved, the skill, the mindset, it's almost like a cleansing to me to go out and play. And now they're shutting down our place, Indian Wells, so we have to go out and play that before. Braden actually said that this morning with the school. He said, "Do we got to go to Indian Wells before they close one last time?" And I love golf. That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's an amazing game.
So did you? So you graduated? You said with two degrees. See, I'm still working on one over here. This guy's got 2. In hotel management. That's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. See, that's how stupid I am.
Yeah, so I got an associate's and a bachelor's in hotel management with a minor in marketing. And during my hotel management classes, I mean, I had to take culinary classes. Johnson & Wales is actually known as a culinary institution.
Right.
Like Emeril Lagasse went to Johnson & Wales.
Wow.
Tyler Florence, just to name a few. And actually, Emeril Lagasse did not ever graduate from Johnson & Wales. I don't know that we want to go down that road, but it's a pretty interesting story.
I'm sure
if you haven't ever, you can Google it, but it's a really interesting. He attended there but never graduated due to an unforeseen event that happened.
Wow.
And now he's very, very successul. But
we'll get on. We need to get on that subject next podcast.
Yeah,
we gotta have Donald back on.
But it was I got to meet Bobby Flay. I got to meet Tyler Florence. I got to meet Emeril Lagasse. I got to meet Paula Dean while going to Johnson & Wales.
And playing golf.
And playing golf.
That's awesome.
So it was really cool. I mean, yeah, the classes were phenomenal. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about service. I learned a lot about numbers and accounting, and obviously a lot about marketing, which I'd still do marketing today. So I'm still using what I learned to this very, very day.
Right. That's awesome, man. So getting to the gist of everything, man. Sales manager now from MyrtleBeach.com and owner and operator of Tide's Eye Photography. And like we were talking, the photography thing is, I can tell just in us talking right before, is you're very passionate about it.
I'm very passionate about everything that I do, and I truly show my passion through my photography on a daily basis. And I tell people this all the time, that they're like, you don't ever sleep. And I'm like, sleep is so overrated, right? I get my 6 or 7 hours a night, and I'm out on the beach every single morning for sunrise, whether there's a sunrise or not, somewhere along the coast of the Grand Strand.
That's awesome.
I've been out there when it was 0 degrees. People believe it doesn't get 0 degrees.
Oh, it does. It does.
Absolutely does. Yeah. I was out there again this morning. It was beautiful sunrise. I go somewhere different every morning. I don't ever go to the same place. I may go to the same place once every week or once every 2 weeks, but I'm always out there 30 minutes prior to the sun even breaking the horizon, taking in the morning, because it motivates me to do what I do on a daily basis by watching what I think is the greatest vantage point of something that happens on a daily basis, is that sun breaking the horizon saying, you've lived another day.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that goes hand in hand with everything I want Natural Sponge to be about. Is just like I mentioned in the beginning, is just this book here, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Everybody goes through something that's, it's very easy to sit back and say, I don't care anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But just like like I try to tell my baseball guys all the time, if you're not taking responsibility and you're not having passion for what you do, there's no point in doing it. I was talking to a guy last night that he's actually committed to a college to play baseball next year, and he's struggling. Just the passion of picking up a bat again, picking up a ball, just to go. Workouts are fun, going to lift weights, all that's good. It's just, I know I'm better than this. I need to do, and that, I said, dude, that's the passion inside of you. And that's awesome. And the thing is, and it's refreshing to hear, man, from you, because there's not many people, maybe you see more than I do. I've got stuck in this, the little circle of what I know now with baseball and stuff like that. And obviously with guys like you trying to branch it out. But, it's refreshing to say, hey, look, there's somebody down here that's passionate about what they're doing. There's somebody that wants to work, somebody that wants to do and take pride in what they do. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing. You don't see that much. Yeah,
man, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
So this is how Donald and I. What do they call you? Donald? Don?
A lot of people call me DH.
DH. That's all. That's my mom, Donna Helsebeck. I like that.
Some people call me. My family calls me Junior because I am a junior.
You are a junior.
Yeah.
All right. I have to ask this question. My wife will love this one, and somebody else I know will not like this, but I don't really care anymore. So Donald C. You cool if we say the C?
Yeah, it's Calvin.
Donald Calvin Hovis Jr. So I'm going to guess that your father was Donald Calvin Hovis.
Senior
now, because he was a junior, right? Yep. Okay. So there's a guy I know that the first name and the last name are the same, but the middle names are different, and he wants to be a junior. I'm like, that's not a junior.
No, that is not.
Okay, thank you.
It's have to be the same name all the way through.
No matter how bad you want it to be.
Obviously, I was named that before my parents even saw me.
Right.
But me and my dad look exactly alike.
Really?
It's amazing that I'm named after him, but we look a lot alike. It's really, really cool.
That's awesome, man. And they still live in the area?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, they did.
Awesome. All right. So the way we got together for the podcast was the Grand Strand Miracle League. I was reaching out. I saw a picture pop up on my Facebook post, and it had Reggie Sanders on there and the Diamond Wizards. My oldest team in 2016 went and did the Miracle League, and we worked with guys. I have tons of pictures, and we'll post those on our social media and everything like that. And I'm sure Donald can shoot me some awesome, or DH. I like DH. DH can shoot us some, awesome pictures he has, and obviously we'll get you involved with our social media. We'll tag you and stuff to get Tide's Eye out there and everything.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So the Grand Strand Miracle League obviously works with the Special Olympics. I'm going to let you tell everything. We work with them. I used to work with Special Olympics back in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, right near where I grew up. And every Tuesday, it was either every Tuesday night or Thursday night, probably both some nights, me and Corey Snyder, another baseball player, we would go to this barn, and we could ride the horses for free on trail rides. My daughter now is doing horse lessons and stuff, and she'll come back and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how I didn't die back in the day. Like, she knows all the specific stuff about it. But we would go do that, and we would clean out the stalls. We could ride them for free and all that stuff if we cleaned out the stalls. And every Tuesday and Thursday night, we worked with Special Olympics riding the horses. So we'd get them on the horse, get them tacked up, get them on the horse, and we would walk them around the ring, and the Special Olympics people would be there. And then at the Miracle League, I have no better way of explaining it than Special Olympics. And that is why this man right here, DH, has been with the Miracle League for 11 years. Go ahead and tell everyone what, a lot of people don't know what the Miracle League is. I know a lot of people do, but some people don't. What is the Miracle League? Especially what do you do, and what is the Miracle League here in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, so the Miracle League provides children with special needs and disabilities the opportunities to learn and play. We do 3 sports: baseball, golf, and soccer. The Grand Strand Miracle League was founded here in Myrtle Beach in 2001. At that time, we were the second Miracle League organization in the U.S., and now there's over 300 Miracle League organizations.
See, that's mind-blowing
around the world. All other Miracle League organizations that I'm aware of only do baseball.
And see, that's all. Until you sent me this, I had no idea that golf and soccer were even there.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
So, and actually,
amazing.
To be honest, in Myrtle Beach, our golf program is actually growing faster than our soccer program, which is really cool to see.
Where do you guys golf at with that?
We go to different places. We might go to PGA Superstore, Cane Patch Driving Range.
Oh, cool.
We do one of them at our field, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. Then we finish the season at Captain Hook's Putt Putt.
Oh, cool.
So it's just truly, it's an amazing organization that provides those kids with special needs just the fun of playing baseball, the fun of playing soccer, the fun of playing golf. And I'll tell you, these kids may have a special need or they may have a disability. They don't know they have that because the smile on their face tells you they are ready to play.
Oh, yeah.
And they are, if we have a rain out, kids are distraught.
Oh,
They're like, my goodness, I was so looking forward to, the Miracle League game this Saturday. We usually play baseball games either on Friday night or Saturday morning based on, what's going on at Myrtle Beach High School because we're adjacent to the Myrtle Beach High School field. So if Myrtle Beach High School may be having a Friday night home game, we're going to have a Saturday morning baseball game to not conflict with parking and whatever all else is going on. But our field is a rubberized, it's an adaptive field that's all rubberized. So it's a rubberized baseball field. So if you're in a wheelchair, we do have several of our kids that are in wheelchairs.
Yep.
You're able to roll right out onto the field. You're able to bat. You're able to run. You're able to go around the bases.
Yep.
It's an amazing place that this community has rallied around us and supported us since we started in 2001.
And what started it here in 2001? Do you know that?
So there's a gentleman here. His name is Carson Benton. He is our chairman emeritus. He also owns and operates C.L. Benton and Sons up there on 38th Avenue in Myrtle Beach. His company, still to this day, is donating money and building projects on our field. He built the field.
Right.
It was his vision. There was a lady named Tori Mackey, who now she's the executive director of the Chapin Foundation. She was the inaugural executive director of the Grand Strand Miracle League. She also had a vision for this, and those two people, along with obviously the founding board of directors, which those people are listed on our field in our big baseball glove next to our concession stand. If you remember that from when you were there, but the community. I mean, John Rhodes, former mayor of Myrtle Beach, huge supporter of the Miracle League. Savannah Thompson. You may know Savannah Thompson. If you do not know Savannah Thompson, you've got to meet Savannah Thompson.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
Her name is associated with Savannah's Playground at Market Common.
Okay, gotcha. My niece actually went up there last week. They're from Ohio. My wife's niece. She has, and that over there is Dravet syndrome. On that banner there, and actually put a new one on for you today. I don't know if you're a band guy, but this is for Dravet syndrome, and that's for you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, and that's what that last year we took Diamond Wizards and took the DW from our logo and turned it to Dravet Warriors and raised some money for the Dravet Foundation and everything like that. It's a seizure disorder, and she's 8. She just got her first service dog, and we saw her last week, and she's amazing. You know what I mean? And I would love to get her, involved when they come down a lot during the summer, and I would love to get her involved in something like that, to go out to the Miracle League and do that, because that's what got me thinking about it, was they went to Savannah's Playground a couple times last week.
So Savannah has grown up in the Miracle League. She's been involved just about as long as I've been involved. She's currently going through the life program out at Coastal Carolina University. I would think she's probably in her early 20s.
Okay.
An amazing girl. Mm-hmm. She comes smiling, from the time she gets out of the car before she's even at the gate to the field. She's just got a bright smile on her face, and people rally around her and crowd around her because of that.
Right. And that's one of the things I remember from that day out there, was just the joy, and you'll probably know the kid. I'll make sure I show you before you head out, man. One of the pictures, the kid, he was a tall, skinny guy, big Reds fan, and he was playing baseball that day, and just the joy he had, man. Just it takes you away from no matter what problem you have in your life. Like, that kid is so happy to be there, and it was just wonderful.
I think you're probably talking about Vincent.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yes,
you were dead on. It is Vincent.
Yes,
that was my dude that day.
We have this kind of saying: is I announce all the games for the Miracle League, and I get to announce the players as they come up to bat. We're playing music, we're dancing. Vincent likes to have a crowd with him.
Oh yeah, he does. I remember that. That's awesome.
And he's never satisfied with 15 people. He wants 20. So he's always, come on guys, come on. Yep. And so when he comes up to bat, I always say, up next is Vincent and his entourage.
There we go. I like that.
And the crowd just goes crazy every single time, and he's like, he just throws his hands in the air, and he's just so excited.
Yes, that is it. That was Vincent. 1000%.
See, that's how I know these kids is you didn't even remember his name, but you could explain it, and I knew exactly who this kid was.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, so that's
awesome.
Vincent, yeah.
That is cool. That is so cool. So I didn't mean to interrupt, man, but back to Savannah.
I tell people all the time, it's kids like Savannah, it's kids like Vincent, it's kids like Mackenzie. And I'm naming some of our players here now that, I tell people they put the eggs in my Easter basket, they put the lights on my Christmas tree, because those kids are, no matter what's going on, they're happy.
That's wonderful.
I wish everybody could be like a Savannah, or be like a Vincent, or be like a Mackenzie, or be like a Peyton, or be like a Tyler. These kids, yes, they may have a disability, but they're human beings living just like we are.
Right.
But they're always happy.
That's it.
I don't know. There may be something wrong with this picture here, but me and you, John, we don't have a disability.
Right.
But there's some days where we're not happy. What's going on that's causing us not to be happy, but them to live on a daily basis and always be happy?
Always happy.
There's something there that we are missing, possibly.
I agree.
So I try to live my life like a McKenzie or like a Vincent. Always being happy, always being positive. Negativity doesn't really come into my body, doesn't come into my mind because of what I've had the opportunity to work with these kids.
That's beautiful, man.
And you obviously knowing about the Miracle League, but some folks listening around the table here and around the world, the Miracle League, we do things throughout the entire year, but we only do things in the spring and the fall. Some of our kids cannot handle the heat, and it gets very hot in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yes, sir.
And we're standing on a rubberized field. When it can be 100 degrees, it's more like 150. It's almost like an oven.
Oh, yeah.
So we do spring baseball. We do 8 weeks of baseball in the spring. We also do six soccer sessions in the spring. We take the summer off. In the fall, we do 8 baseball games again, and then we do 6 golf sessions.
How many teams do you have with the baseball?
We have 5.
Wow.
Actually, excuse me, 6.
Wow.
6. Sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And everything obviously is volunteer? You got volunteers?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And 4 play on our rubberized field, and actually we have 2 advanced teams, our Pirates and our Cubs team, that play on our backfield, which is our grass dirt surface. They actually go and compete at the Special Olympics kind of state tournament.
That was Warren Sessions' son was on the Pirates.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So I probably have run across him.
Yeah.
But on a daily basis, I don't go to that field. I don't announce those kids' names. I'm more on the rubberized, on the Miracle League field per se, with those kids. So I probably did. I probably did get to meet Warren at one time. But it's just I look forward to every week when the Miracle League happens, and it's kind of sad to say, but this Friday night coming up, and just 2 more days will be our Halloween game, and it's our final baseball game of the season.
What time is that?
It starts at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. We're gonna get this on. We're gonna get this on YouTube tonight. I said I was done putting them out on YouTube since we got all this stuff on. But we're gonna put this one out tonight. We're gonna see how many people we can get out there.
That's awesome. And kids will be dressed up for Halloween. They'll be in their costumes. And I've told you the community has supported us since 2001. When we announce our dates, every date that we announce has a game day sponsor. That sponsor can bring volunteers, they can bring t-shirts, they bring food and feed all of the Miracle League players.
Awesome.
They can bring promotional items, they can do whatever they want. Those typically are sold out within 48 hours. So businesses are already securing a spot sometimes before their game is over now. For example, the Halloween game is always done by Sam's Club.
Mm-hmm.
They literally bring big boxes of candy and set one at first base, one at second base, one at third base, and kids trick-or-treat around the bases.
That's cool.
So it's a safe place to do this. It's a fun place to do this. Everybody is dressed up. I cannot wait to wear my new costume on Friday night.
Do we get a teaser? Or no?
Absolutely. It's like a full-on pumpkin suit.
Here we go.
Like you've seen like the ugly Christmas suits and things like that. And, I have one of those as well, and I love to wear it. But this one literally is a full-on suit that has jack-o'-lanterns all over it.
Oh,
it's
that's
really,
cool.
really cool. I got some cool Halloween socks I'm going to wear with it. So
there we go.
It's got a tie. I'm just going to have a ball with it. But I wear like a full-on shamrock suit for our St. Patrick's Day game.
Nice.
I mean, I'm all about, dressing
and
up.
The kids love it, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one story about Peyton. Peyton plays on our Red Sox team, and he's been involved with the Miracle League for a long time. His mother is a coach, and his sister is a coach of another team. Peyton loves Michael Jackson. You may remember him if you came to our field a couple years ago, and if he was there. Obviously, he dances to Billie Jean every single game. I literally stopped the game. We have somebody at our soundboard queued up with Billie Jean ready to go. And I asked people, I said, folks, you need to pull out your cell phone. You need to pull out something to videotape this, take a picture, whatever. Because this is the coolest part about a Miracle League game is watching Peyton literally dance to Michael Jackson, and he's very, very good.
Right.
So I heard last week he's got a brand new Michael Jackson outfit to wear Friday night, so it's going to be awesome.
Cool.
And we've kind of coined the phrase Peyton Live. So,
that is neat, man.
So now when Peyton comes up to bat, it's like now presenting to you, Peyton Live, and the crowd just goes nuts. And he'll dance almost all the way through Billie Jean right there at home plate, and then he'll bat. And typically, he's going to hit the first pitch that's thrown at him. Then he dances the remainder of the way around the field, still to Billie Jean.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you're putting the pressure on me now, Natural Sponge guys on social media. I'm gonna have to video this live on Friday night.
Yeah,
we're coming out, man. We got to. This is too cool, man.
Yeah, man.
So obviously you're the game day announcer.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It's the coolest thing I do, honestly.
And what is the vice president and treasurer? I mean, you got a ton of. You've been there for 11 years now. What was the first time you went out like? Just for you, like what the first time you went out for? What reason? Like.
So yeah, way back in 2008. I was a member of the what's called GS Scene at that point. Now it's actually called the Grand Strand Young Professionals Group. It's through the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. So I've been involved with Chamber of Commerce since before 2008. They said at a meeting I was at, they said, "Oh, our next event is actually going to be a volunteer. We're looking for volunteers for our next event at the Grand Strand Miracle League." And I said to myself, "The Grand Strand Miracle League? I've never heard of the Grand Strand Miracle League."
Right.
So it was coming up. It was like 3 weeks away or whatever. So I quickly signed up. And I remember going to the field, and I'm like, man, I mean, I went to school like right there. Obviously, the field wasn't. I graduated in 2001
from Myrtle Beach
High.
Yeah.
So
Seahawk.
There you go. I could go into the Seahawk chant, but I won't go there. But I don't remember. Obviously I remember 2001, but I don't remember ever seeing the Miracle League field when I was there. And then obviously I went off to college, but back to kind of 2008. So when I walked up to the field, I was like, this place is awesome. I mean, I saw banners of businesses around the field. And if you've been there, so you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
People that are sponsors or partners or things like that. And the game went on. It started about 10 a.m. and went till about noon, about 2 hours. And I was having a ball, like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I remember that particular day, the executive director at that time, Tori Mackey, who I mentioned a little bit ago in the podcast here, she had a part where someone had presented her a check, so she was out there on the field, and I actually got to talk with her. I went up to her and I said, "Tori, this is absolutely amazing." I said, "This is my first time here. How do I get involved?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we have a game next week. We'd love to have you back. You could become an all-star volunteer." And I thought, that sounds pretty cool. All-star volunteer. I've always wanted to be an all-star.
There you go.
So why not be an all-star volunteer? So I went back, and I went back, and I went back. And I think there was 3 games left in that particular fall season because it was in a fall game that we sponsored at the Young Professionals Group. And I remember getting a call from Tori not long after that fall season. And she said, "Donald, we have an opportunity would you like to coach one of our teams?" And I thought, I've never coached in my life. She's like, it's not really a coach. You're not coaching the kids how to play. You're more of a role model. You're the person that's going to make sure they show up to the games. You're going to make sure, the kids come up to bat in a particular order. I said, that sounds awesome. So I immediately started to coach, and I did that for 3 or 4 years. And at that time, we had an announcer that was doing announcing, and she came up to me during one of the games, and she said, his name was Sly. Sly's going to be out of town next week. How do you feel about taking a mic and doing announcing? Right. I was like, well, I've never done that before. I never coached before. Now I've never announced before. I said, I'll give it a try. She fell in love with what I did. She loved, because I was a natural.
You just made it your own.
I was on.
Yeah.
And so she said quickly after that, she said, "Oh, and by the way, Sly's actually going to be moving at the end of the season, so we're going to need an announcer. How do you feel about becoming the announcer?" I said, I love this because I get to remember the kid's name by their face. Mm-hmm. I get to play music. I get to watch these kids just have fun. I said, I'm on. I would love to do it. So I did that for several years. At this point, Tori actually went over to the Chapin Foundation, where she is now as the executive director. And our executive director at that time was Jennifer Averett. I remember Greg Smith, who was a board member for the Grand Strand Miracle League. He approached me at one of the games. He came to one of the games and he said, "Hal, we're looking to add people to our board. We're taking names right now to present to the board. Would you be interested in having your name shared with the board?" I said, "Well, Greg, I've been involved, for this, I think it was about 6 years at this point." I said, "Absolutely." So at that point, my name was presented to the board, and the unanimous decision said, "We would love to have Donald."
That's awesome,
So
man.
I became a board member, but I've only just met you here for a short period of time, but I think you can understand that when I get involved with something, I get involved and I go 150% of the way.
For sure.
To be a board member, you could that looks great, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want to do more as a board member. Like I want to benefit the organization more. So through this process, became vice president. Now become vice president and the treasurer. So I'm very, very involved with the Miracle League. I do all of our public speaking, whether it's at civic organizations, on the radio, on TV, you name it.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wonder why.
The guy's nailing this. This is the best podcast yet.
It's the Miracle League. I tell people it has my heart. It truly is my heart because those kids mean so much to me, and every one of them, whether it's Tyler, Vincent, Mackenzie, Colin. I mean, you name it.
Right.
Lena. There's so many. Noah. I mean, I could go on and name almost every one of our players right off the bat here. They come up running. They give me a hug.
Yeah.
And I will tell you and the audience here is kind of every game, every baseball game, I do I love selfies. I do a selfie with a different player every week. And I look for something in that player that makes me want to say, okay, that's the one that I want to do the selfie with this week.
There's a vibe there. You just see it.
I'm like, dude, it's just cool. I mean, you could find me on Facebook and you could see all my selfies. But last week, for example, Lena, she's probably one of our youngest players. I think she's like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Obviously, her parents come on the field because they need to help her, walk around and get around, and we appreciate that. She was just smiling. I mean, I'd never seen this big of a smile on her face. She's smiled before, but she was really, really happy.
Right.
And so I'm there announcing players' names. I have my camera kind of strapped over my shoulder, so I'm kind of doing 2 things at the one time. And I look back and I see Lena, and I believe it was Maggie, one of our other players. They had a bond, and they hit it off. There was something there. I'm not sure what it was. And so I quickly ran over and I said, "I would love to do a selfie with you." And her mom just kind of started clapping in the back because she had seen me do this with other players.
Right. We finally got a selfie with DH.
Yeah, so it was cool. And in the selfie, like, Lena is kind of looking up like this at me, and she's got that smile. So it's really cool. The previous week before that, it was a little girl named Gwen, who's one of our newest players on our Yankees team. She literally came running up to me, and she wanted to go in my arms.
Right.
And so in my arms, this one actually wasn't a selfie, but I had her mom take the picture. I kind of handed her my phone. I said, "Can you take a picture of this?" And literally Gwen is like wall to wall, ears to, just smiling.
Man.
It's just, so that's why I love the Miracle League, is these kids, man. It's all about the kids. It truly is.
It's awesome, man. And to touch on, I'll never forget when I first moved down here to coach baseball. We're playing at, we called it, I think it's still called in the baseball realm, is Pepper Gettings.
Oh yeah.
And so we're going by Pepper Gettings, and we're going to our field to practice, and I walk by this field, and I'm like, what in the world is this? I see it. It's all like, it's almost like you said, the rubberized. It looks painted, and it's got the bases are, there's no real bases up and all that stuff. And I'm walking by like, that'd be a sweet wiffle ball field, And I'm looking and I start seeing Miracle League, and I'll never forget coming home that night. I was living in Carolina Forest at the time, and I come home that night, and I Googled Miracle League, and it was just I literally texted people like, how do we get involved in this? And never was able to until I started my own program. And was able to get in through it that way, and it was a great day, man. And for you to get to do it every day is just, I mean, it's obviously a blessing. You know, it's a beautiful thing. We're definitely coming out Friday night. I don't think there's nothing going on Friday night. We're going to come out and see the Halloween game for sure. I definitely got to tweet pictures of you in your Halloween suit. That's
absolutely,
for sure.
Man. Absolutely. I'm trying to find like a hat or something to go with it, you know, but I haven't found that yet. So, but
well, you got to paint the hair orange or something.
Bring the family. Yeah, if I have enough time, I might do that. I might. But you know, bring the family. That's a cool part about what we do is, you know, every one of our games is sponsored by a business. Whether last week it was the Walmart neighborhood market over in Market Common that sponsored the game. So they brought people, they brought food, but some of the people brought their families, and we welcome that. Because us as adults, we get our kids involved early, and we see that hey, not everybody's the same.
Nope,
everybody's a little different, right? Which is kind of the cool part about the world. Is that you can see, hey, there are kids that are my age that may not have the same life as me, but you can make a difference in that kid's life just by walking around the bases at a baseball game at the Miracle League with our kids.
Right.
And so we welcome kids. We welcome volunteers. That's obviously how we do what we do is through volunteers.
Yeah. I'm sure Braden will bring his glove, man. I'm telling you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He absolutely loves, like I said, his cousin Amy has Dravet syndrome and all that stuff. He loves working with him, and like we were talking earlier, with a lot of negative stuff that goes on in the world. You know, the positivity, and when you see the goodness in kids, especially at the age of 14, 11, or whatever, that can help kids that have disabilities. It's beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm. It truly is,
and I think that is one of the things that. We're not going, like I said earlier, I don't get into like the big political side of things, but, to take Bibles out of school and to take this out of this and this out of this, like to see, whether it's your son, your stepson, or just somebody, a stranger, to go out and have that heart to help the kids in the world we live in 2019. It gives me chills to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, still to this day ask me, okay, where did you get kind of the drive? Where did you get the motivation to kind of do, volunteer work and more for your community, do more for others than you do for yourself? And I take it back to, when I was growing up, my family knew of a family in the Myrtle Beach area that didn't really have a whole lot. So, for example, if we got a bike for Christmas, which happened occasionally, we would make sure that, obviously, if we had a bike before we got the new bike, we would take that older bike to this family to make sure they had a bike. Same way with clothes. We never really, we took clothes to this family to make sure the kids had clothes.
Exactly.
They had shoes. So that's where I really got kind of my start with, is giving back through my family to this particular family in our community. And still to this day, I wake up with the mentality of, okay, how do I benefit others around me today? How do I benefit others around me this week? How do I benefit others around me this month, this year?
That's a hell of a way to live, man.
Dude, it's awesome, man. It's really cool. And I'm very fortunate that I've had a lot of opportunities to do that. And
personal question: you talk to that family anymore?
Absolutely, we're still involved with them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's
in
amazing.
fact, one of the kids, his name's Kendrick. Kendrick, he's married now. He asked me to do his wedding photography, which is kind of amazing.
Cool. That is cool.
And him and his wife just had a baby, so they asked me to do some maternity photos for him. And so yes, we're still involved with that family all the time.
That is super cool, man.
Yeah.
How much? Were you working at MyrtleBeach.com during that time when you first started?
No, I've only been with MyrtleBeach.com for almost a year.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. So, what is your goal? Obviously, seems like, and I've talked to a few people with the Miracle League. What's the lady's name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, right?
Yeah,
I talked to her on the phone, texted her a little bit, emailed and stuff, and that's how we got in touch. And what is you seem like the main voice, man, the biggest advocate of that's out there spreading the word. What is your goal? Is it a long-term goal of this is where I see the Miracle League and the kids we can touch, or is it just a day-to-day, like each day is a different day, a beautiful day, and that's or how do you again, I guess like you touched on, how do you stay motivated to continue to grow and continue to not necessarily just yourself as a person, but grow the Miracle League and be able to touch more and more and more and more children. And like you said, there's already over 300 worldwide.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So how do you wake up like you said, you wake up every day? How can I help someone today?
Yeah.
But what is your goal in your mindset with the Miracle League moving forward over the next, say, 10 years?
It's an interesting fact, and you may not know this fact, but there's like 6,000 kids in Horry County, which if those of you who have never been to Horry County, where Myrtle Beach is located, it's the largest county in the United States east of the Mississippi.
Wow. Did not know that.
Did not know. Look at there.
I knew it was big. But
so it's big. And obviously there's 6,000 kids in Horry County that have special needs.
Jeez, oh man.
Just let that number 6,000 kind of sink in. We
wild.
have 150 of them involved with the Miracle League. You tell me, that doesn't really equate to a high percentage, does it?
Not at all.
So that's why I get up and do what I do, is still on a daily basis, a weekly basis, we're doing awareness campaigns to get the Miracle League out in front of kids. And personally, I would love for us to be able to go into the schools and talk about Miracle League to the special needs classes in all the schools, because I think there we could really, really grow.
Right. Because at the end of the day, the kids just want to be kids.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of people that have told me, as recent as like a year ago, like, you're meant to be running a nonprofit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You can see it in like an hour or so we've spent together this morning.
Oh, for sure.
But, so my goal is to, if the event ever happened, or if the opportunity ever happened to become maybe the executive director of the Miracle League, I would consider that my dream job.
Wow.
Honestly, because of the kids.
Right.
And how we can make a difference right now in 150 kids' lives. I think we have obviously an opportunity to grow, and I think we're growing. We're growing every year. We get 5 or 6 new players, maybe 10 players every season.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we're growing, and we're making a difference. And those kids that have been involved, are they stay involved, and those so they obviously, and that's why we share the photos and we share this online, is we're trying to make more of a difference in our community and get more of those 6,000 kids involved with the Miracle League.
Do you guys have any connection with, like you said, there's one in Florence now?
Correct, yes.
Do you guys work hand in hand with any of the other local Miracle Leagues around the area?
We don't, but we do work with several organizations that have kind of the same. I call them crossover kids, basically.
Right.
Grand Strand Down Syndrome Society. Give them a plug here on the podcast.
There we go.
They actually have a big buddy walk coming up this weekend at Coastal, which the Miracle League is actually a sponsor of their buddy walk, which is kind of interesting.
Cool.
And then we also work, with the Champion Autism Network right here in Surfside, because some of our kids that are involved with the Miracle League have autism. So we work with other organizations to, get our word out. Also, SOS Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
They're actually building a really cool facility, and if you've never Googled it, you need to Google Oak Tree Farm. It's SOS Healthcare is actually building this facility where adults with special needs will be able to live, and it'll be more of a community just for them.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
The Miracle League actually sponsored the track that's going to be around this facility. So you can see, not only do we make a difference in, our 150 kids' lives, but we're trying to make a difference in our community by being involved with these other organizations that are doing tremendous work for kids and families in Horry County.
Man, that's amazing, man. And with we were talking about the Pirates and your more advanced teams that go to the Special Olympics.
Absolutely.
How does that work? They go to the Special Olympics, and where's the Special Olympics at? Have you been to that that was it like a tournament, or how's that work?
Yeah, it's the state games. It's usually held in the spring up in Columbia. And our advanced team has actually won the gold medal 2 out of the last 3 years.
Let's
for
go.
The entire state of South Carolina, which is pretty cool.
That's dope.
So when they come to we call it the backfield at the Miracle League, they just do more of a practice every week. They're not playing, they do play, but they're more of, working on hitting, working on pitching, because yes, they do and go compete at the state level. And I'll tell you, being in the Special Olympics state games is not like, you don't think it's just this easy thing. I mean, there's umpires, there's officials, and they play by the rules, which is really, really neat to see. So you're teaching these kids rules. You're teaching these kids, okay, you got to be able to catch the ball. You got to be able to throw the ball back, or else the runner's going to keep advancing and could go home and score a run.
Right.
I've never been to Columbia for the state games, but I actually recently we play golf with the Miracle League, and we have a golf program where several of our kids that are involved in our golf program are actually on that traveling team or the competing team that goes to the state. We have several in the golf program that are on that team that also go and compete for golf championships with Special Olympics. And coming up actually this weekend on Saturday at Coastal Carolina University is the Special Olympics Fall State Games for golf.
Oh, wow.
And they do a program where a Special Olympics child is paired with a partner. They call it his unified partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually, just 2 weeks ago, was asked by Coach Van, who's our coach of our team that travels to Columbia and competes. He says, my son is in need of a partner for the golf program at Coastal this month. We would love to have you be his partner.
You're back out on the links.
Back out on the links.
That's awesome.
And his name is Jacob, so I'll be Jacob's partner on Saturday out at Coastal. And we had the opportunity to do a kind of a practice round a few days after Van asked me to play. And Van rode with us for the first couple holes, and then he said to me, Jacob is going to play better if I leave, so I'll see you guys later.
That's pretty cool.
It is really, really cool. And I'll never forget this day when we and Jacob played our practice round. We were on the third hole at River Oaks here in Myrtle Beach, is where they practiced. The tournament this weekend will be out at Coastal at the Hackler course. This is the first hole where Van had, his dad had driven away. He wanted to go and check on the other groups who were playing on some of the other holes. Jacob hit an amazing drive, like just straight down the middle of the fairway. And obviously I've played golf since I was 10, and I'm 36 now, so 26 years. Jacob is around 26 years old himself. He just, oh my gosh, he was just so excited. The joy.
Yeah.
And that's another reason right there. Like, did it go 300 yards? No. Did it go straight down the fairway? Absolutely, yes. And we actually made a par on that hole between us. So Jacob hit the drive. I hit the second shot. I set him up there to where he could knock it up on the green. I made the putt. We made a par.
That's awesome.
So when we go and compete the state games this weekend, if we shoot a particular score, Jacob could qualify to go to nationals to play for the National Special Olympics Golf Championships, which were just held in Nashville a couple weeks ago. And we had, in our golf program, we had a gold medal winner and a bronze medal winner right here from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
And that's why you get up and keep grinding.
Dude, freaking
you
amazing.
Can't beat that. I've had chills for an hour. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's easy to say. There's not many guys left out there like you with the heart you have. It's unmatched.
And I try to show that, and I think you've quickly realized,
for sure. For sure.
And anywhere I go and I talk to people, somehow we get to volunteer work, we get to community work, we get to the Miracle League,
right.
Almost in every conversation.
Right. I mean, you can't beat it. So definitely best of luck to you and Jacob this weekend. That's
man.
cool.
Looking forward to it.
And where are you guys playing at again?
The Hackler course at Coastal.
I haven't played there yet. I want to.
Yeah, so obviously these kids being special needs kids and Special Olympics kids, they do move the tee boxes up.
Mm-hmm.
So in my case, There's 18 holes, so Jacob is going to tee off on 9 of the holes. I'm going to tee off on 9 of the holes.
Okay.
And then we play alternate shot all the way through that hole until the ball is held. I think the score we have to beat combined is 120.
Okay.
Now, I shoot somewhere around 85 when I play. So you got to think.
Right.
I've got to have 45-ish kind of shots, 35-ish, shots of Jacobs to get us to that 120 mark.
Right, and that's the beautiful thing right now, guys. If you haven't even, obviously by now you know, but with DH here, man, it literally, the way he just put that, it was nothing about himself. This is what I got to do for Jacob to get it done. Yeah. And that's just, it's, I haven't, honestly, I've been down here 7 years now and haven't met one guy like that that's obviously more about others than himself. My wife is the same way, but she always puts everyone else's needs. I think that's the mama instinct and everything. But you don't see guys that everybody else was like, look, I'm going to go do this, this, and this, and then you lose. You're like, well, he could have done better. No, you're just like, dude, I'm going to try to set my man Jacob up here to do the best he can do.
Absolutely.
And if we win it, we win it. If we don't, like you just said, the joy. It's unreal. That's awesome, man. So, we're definitely going to come out, dude, on Friday night. Definitely want you to come back in for more on the podcast.
Love this, man.
I mean,
I could talk all day.
I know. I don't want to cut you off at all, dude. If keep going, bro. A couple more things, though. We talked a lot about the baseball side of it over at Pepper Gettings near Myrtle Beach High School, and now the golf. How much do you have, like you're the announcer for baseball, how much do you have involvement besides playing with Jacob this weekend in the golf and the soccer aspect of it?
Yeah, so I'll start with soccer first because that actually happened pretty quickly. After I started working at MyrtleBeach.com last November, we had a soccer sponsor at that time that decided they wanted to become a baseball team sponsor. So the opportunity for a soccer sponsorship came available. I knew what the soccer sponsorship entailed. You got your logo on the back of all the soccer jerseys that the kids wore. You got a banner on the field. You're in all of our promotional items. So I went to the owner of MyrtleBeach.com, and I said, I think this would be a cool opportunity. I said, this is what it costs. To me, that's very, very affordable.
Right.
Would you be interested in having MyrtleBeach.com be the official soccer sponsor of the Miracle League? He said, where do I sign?
That's beautiful.
Like within 5 seconds.
That's cool.
So to see what I do, obviously to make a living, on the back of the Miracle League kids' jerseys, right. That really kind of hit home for me because it kind of came full circle, right?
Right.
From my involvement, now what I'm doing is actually showing up on these kids.
Exactly.
It's kind of really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I attend all the soccer sessions and take photos. We have that program, I have to say, and I haven't said it through the entire podcast, and I'm surprised I haven't, but I have to thank Coastal Carolina University for what they've done. Their baseball teams are involved with our baseball program. Their soccer teams, men's and women's, are involved with our soccer program.
Wow.
And our golf program, we have the men's and women's golf team involved. Coach Gary Gilmore, national championship head coach.
Yes, sir.
Head coach of the year, national coach of the year.
Oh, Gilly.
Amazing man. He comes to the Miracle League all the time. And we couldn't do what we do without those fine folks out there at Coastal. But in terms of the golf, I'm involved with the golf program. I take photos at every one of our golf sessions. I work with businesses around here to get us the ability to go and play golf at their particular complex, like Topgolf.
Right.
Topgolf is new in Myrtle Beach. I approached them and said, hey, we would love for our kids to have the opportunity to come over here to Topgolf and be able to, to come, because they may not have the funds necessary to go to Topgolf.
Oh, for sure.
Could we work on something together? And I think, it didn't happen for this fall season, but I think probably next fall, our kids will have the opportunity to go over to Topgolf, which will be kind of really cool.
Oh, yeah. They'll love that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm involved through every part of the Miracle League, whether it's baseball, golf, soccer,
Right.
you name it. We do several community events where obviously we have to raise funds to be able to do the things that we do because we don't charge our kids to be part of our program. Our program is free to our kids. Obviously, we have sponsors that come in and provide food to our kids. So our expenses are obviously stuff on the field, bats, gloves, balls, uniforms, T-shirts, that kind of thing. So I go out and I try to, get people involved in the business community, get a banner on our field, you name it. So I'm very, very involved with Miracle League.
Right, that's amazing, man. And I know I don't have a vote, but if it's needed for the executive director, you got my vote.
I mean Jennifer does a great job. So I'm only saying if an opportunity ever came available, I would consider it my dream job. But I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like I said, I've said it 5 or 6 times, man. You just don't meet many guys like you that are number one, passionate about the work they do. Because I mean it's almost like in my mind everything works together in life. If it's Miracle League or take it all the way to getting your oil changed, somewhere down the line somebody's not as passionate, somebody's not as detailed. You're going to take your car back to get the oil changed. Somebody's experience isn't going to be as great as Miracle League as somebody else's were if you weren't involved. I mean, I can say that 1,000% in my heart is you can tell that everyone's experience in the Miracle League is going to be top notch because you're involved in some way, and that's congratulations to you, man. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and I can't wait to get out and like I said, I was floored for the first 20 minutes, and I've been floored ever since just because Vincent.
Yeah,
right
man.
there.
Yeah, you go.
Tall, skinny guy. And boom, Vincent. Yep, that was him. It was it. I got it.
As soon as I said the name, you lit up over here.
Yeah, yes, that was my dude. I remember we took, and he loves pictures too.
He does.
I think we probably took like 20 pictures that day.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, besides, and we talked about this real quick. Reggie Sanders was one of the guys, old pro major league guy. He's been involved. Any other big names around town or big names across the Miracle League realm that have any celebrities that have kind of bought in and helped in some way, or how's that?
Another one, Mookie Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Mookie.
Yep.
He actually lives up around the Florence area, so yeah, he comes down a couple times a year and throws out a first pitch. Reggie Sanders obviously has been involved. And a few years ago, this organization is not really involved anymore. It was an organization called To Live Beyond. Mm-hmm. They were an organization here that had a To Live Beyond golf tournament where they brought celebrities, Tony La Russa, Bobby Bonilla. I'm just trying to remember some of those, Chad Kelly. There was, it was probably 15 or 20, Tony Womack.
Oh, yeah. Tony Womack, dude. I got a funny story about him. I was in Raleigh one time at some baseball stuff back in my day, and they did this. They were doing this bunting drill or something, and some way, somehow, he made a bet with one of the kids. I think I was probably 15 at the time, but he made a bet with one of the kids over there that he could just take regular BP on the field, and you're supposed to bunt it through the helmets, like they were kind of like cones. And he said there was 1, 2, 3, so there's 4 helmets. He said he could take regular BP and hit line drives off all 4 of them. And the guy was like, no way you could do that. Literally took BP, and they were probably 15 to 20 feet out, and line shot off of the other one, line shot off the other one, and I think the third one he literally shattered the helmet in half that was sitting out there, and the last one he hits it dead into it, and the helmet goes flying, and the guy was just looked at him like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
He was like, barrel control, man. That's all. But yeah, Tony Womack, dude, I forgot about that story.
So they when they came to town for their golf tournament, they would come over to our field, and we kind of did this To Live Beyond. We actually called it Baseball and Beyond at that point. This has probably been, I don't think we've done it for 2 or 3 years now, but I'm just trying to remember a few other names that came through. But that was part of their golf tournament weekend, was doing work in the community, and they did this baseball game, and I mean they were taking pictures with the kids and having fun, and that was really cool. So
that's awesome, man. So again, guys, we were going to get this thing where it's pretty much one day out moving into November, but we're going to go ahead and put this one on YouTube tonight. So we're gonna share it to everybody. See how many people can get out there Friday night for the last Halloween game. You want everybody to dress up too?
Absolutely, man.
I'm gonna get my wife in her little panda or whatever she has for Halloween. She's gonna come out in her panda thing.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, Tide's Eye Photography. I want to make sure we share that on social media and all that stuff for you as well. I mean, dude, I've loved having you. In no way do I want to cut you off, but I want to have more for our next time.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
You got to come back, and let's get together on some video stuff too. I think that'd be cool.
Sounds good, man.
But moving forward, guys, like I said, Friday night, 6:00, Miracle League, back near Myrtle Beach High School. So I'm guessing Myrtle Beach is away this week.
Yeah, they're actually playing up in Florence, Thursday night.
Florence Thursday night game. They'll be on TV game.
I don't think so.
But so you live in Carolina Forest?
I live in Myrtle Beach, City of Myrtle Beach.
City of Myrtle Beach. Gotcha. But guys, thanks for listening to Natural Sponges Friends. My guy Donald C. Hovis Jr., a real junior, my guy, has been absolutely phenomenal today. Cannot wait to get him back on. Continue to check out all the stuff we post on social media with the Miracle League. We're going to get some stuff going when we get off of here and before DH leaves. We got to make sure we have some kind of connection here. We can share a bunch of stuff and help in any way possible.
I appreciate that.
I got right now with Diamond Wizards, like I said before on here, and like I said, we haven't known each other for much more than a couple hours, really. And but with the Diamond Wizards, we got a bunch of older guys that we do private workouts with and stuff like that. I'm gonna make them get involved. We're gonna get involved in any way we can with the Wizards, and anything we can do in any way, shape, or form with the podcast, with the baseball program, with anyone I know that can help in any way. Been a fan of the Miracle League. Loved the day I was out there, and definitely want to get out there more for sure.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this podcast. If you want to find out more about the Miracle League, we are on Facebook at GS Miracle Leagues, and our website is grandstrandmiracleleague.com.
That's it, and we will make sure we share that on all our podcast or all our social media stuff. And if anybody has any questions, you shoot an email. You got an email?
Yeah, so I'll be happy to give my email. So it's my name, Donald Hovis at gmail.com.
And then we go naturalsponge23 at gmail.com as well. And in any way, shape, or form, anybody's interested in working with or helping the Miracle League, make sure you email us and email me. I'll shoot it right to DH, and we'll get it going to help out any way we can. Donald, thanks again for coming on, dude. It's been awesome.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.